Pink, red. Oh, actually, it goes from red to pink. I like that.
All right, we are live. What is up, everyone? Good to see you again. Kevin here at the PILMMA Super Summit in San Antonio. And have a good friend of mine here, Delisi Friday. We've known each other for a couple years now, I want to say.
Yeah, we have.
Definitely been on the podcast before. This is the live version. But Delisi has a really unique business, and she helps law firms, honestly, in a way that I don't know anyone else that does what you do, which is cool because what a market for that.
Hey, niches get riches.
And what she does and how she does it for law firms is one of the areas that I'm passionate about because this has helped me so much. Like, we don't market ourselves like as an agency because we're a referral business, and to try to compete with like my competitors on showing up first, we just decided to not go that route.
Yeah,
it's relationships. It's people that we meet at conferences like this. So introduce yourself, talk about your business a little bit, and then we'll riff about what we both are passionate about and what we find important.
Yeah, sure. My name is Delisi Friday. I am the owner of First Call Friday, and I help lawyers make friends who refer them cases. So what that means is I coach and consult with lawyers on how they can create more relationships that turns into referrals. Referral marketing is my life, and I love what you do because it goes very well with referral marketing because you make the phone ring. And I help turn those phone calls that don't turn into cases into referral relationships.
I love that.
And so I'm all about referrals and lawyers.
Cool. So First Call Friday. What's your .com? I'd be guessing.
Firstcallfriday.com. First is spelled out.
Spelled out. I put it on the screen so y'all can see that too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, someone asked me this earlier. They're like, "Hey, what's the big takeaway of this conference?" And I've heard a lot of vendors kind of be, "Hey, I'm not getting a lot of people coming up to me or my booth." And the biggest takeaway for me has been seeing people I already know. It's not new people necessarily. I met a lot of new people, but connecting with people that I already know, getting in front of them in person. Some people I've never met in person.
Me. We have
Delisi's
for years. We know each other for years.
Yeah.
I've been on your podcast. I have referred you business.
Yep.
And this was our first time meeting in person, but it felt like we already know each other. We just haven't been able to like physically hug and say hello.
Yeah.
So those interactions with people you already know, but you get to see them in person, like that in my mind is priceless.
Yeah. And so I've multiple clients of mine I've met in person for the first time. Leah Miller, Will Clark.
Yes.
And referral partners. My friend Raquel here in Staffy. Armando Leduc, great friend of mine. We've met in person many times, but I've already got like maybe 5 or 6 referrals from those people because they're like, "Oh, I never thought about this." You got to stay top of mind. You got to get in front of them. And they didn't just pull those out of a hat. They just were like, "Oh, I had this referral introduction." And so I've met all these other attorneys and people because of them going, "Oh, wait, I can introduce you to this person."
Yes. And you know why? Because referrals doesn't come naturally to people. And so part of my job is to help train lawyers how to like put out that seed to help feed them the idea of referrals, because either you have it or you don't. And when you don't have it, you have to be trained to how to think about referrals. And so sometimes the biggest takeaway of an event like this is the people who don't naturally think about referrals are in a room with all these people saying, "Wait, why haven't I introduced Kevin to Leah who's standing over there?" But because they're in the same room, that's when you connect the dots. Yeah. And that's part of why these events are so important, because seeing people physically helps you connect those dots and make the introduction.
Yeah. And so people like to connect people, refer people, but they're also in their day to day, they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
And so it's impossible to be like, I wonder how I can get a lead for Delisi today. Like, I got meetings and employees and sales calls and all this stuff. you got to take care of what you're doing. And so you have to work at it. You have to, build those relationships, but to come in person and see these folks often, now you're top of mind. They're going, wait a minute, I want to see how I can get a referral to Delisi or Kevin.
Yep.
So that's been a huge takeaway for me. It's just to get to see people.
Well, and I will also say, and we talked about this a second ago, when you meet someone in person that you haven't met in person before, that connection that you have when you meet them live is so much stronger than when you only knew them because you talked through Zoom. So like I have a client I introduced to you guys, Will. You met him Wednesday night.
Yep. First time I met him.
You guys spent so much time together, and Will was like, man, I really love getting to meet Kevin in person. It was so different because it was in person.
Yeah.
And so that relationship for you and your client is so much stronger because of that. Now they feel more comfortable to call you. Imagine if you ever had a challenge. Will is now going to call you because he feels comfortable calling Kevin on his phone saying, hey, I've got this issue, because you guys created that bond in person that you're not going to create just on a Zoom. And so those relationships in person make them so much stronger than what you already have.
Yeah. And so with all the AI, we're all on Zoom calls all day. Like, just get out of the damn office and go meet people.
Yeah.
And, for like attorneys trying to build referrals, go to local events, go to bar events, go out and meet people in person. It's easy to just get stuck in your office, trying to slug through work. But it served me very well. And I think, I have the podcast, right? I've had hundreds of guests. The benefit of that is because when I come to one of these shows, I usually know at least, 20, 30 people in the room, but I've never met them in person.
Yeah.
But what I did here allows me to meet them in person and just build that connection a lot quicker. So
agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a huge takeaway for me. But law firms, if you don't have a system for referrals, most just go about their day and they get some referrals. They're going to get referrals. But have you really thought about how can you influence that? What are you doing to go out of your way to take care of your referral partners? Do you even know who are the good ones, the bad ones that send you not so good referrals? Like, how do you measure who you put more attention to and go out of your way to, send them stuff, talk to them? They're not thinking about you all day unless you are intentional about it.
Yeah. I will say, whenever a lawyer comes to me and says, Delisi, I need to make a whole lot of connections, I need to get more referrals, I say, no, you don't. Tell me who already refers you business, and I will tell you how many of those people you should be in contact with 30, 60, 90 days so you can generate more business. Because I promise you, if you just give them a little bit more attention, that's when you stay top of mind and they remember you to refer you the business. But unfortunately, what I will see is people will get a lot of cases referred to them. And one of the most common mistakes is they don't say thank you. And the second most common mistake is they don't do anything once they hit the end of the year and they notice they get a lot of referrals. They take no action on that. They just think, oh, I'm doing something right because I'm getting a lot of referrals. But if you just paid a little bit more attention, you could get way more referrals, because if you're doing nothing and you're getting referrals, imagine if you did something.
I know, right? Like,
imagine.
And it's, getting in touch with them every once in a while, doing something nice for them once in a while. Just, they're going to appreciate, oh, wow, they thought about me, and you stay top of mind for them. And again, people generally want to help other people, but they're just not thinking about you.
Right. It does not come naturally.
Yeah.
It comes naturally for me. Like, that's just like how I'm made, but that is not normal. Like, you have to feed people reasons to refer you business and remind them to refer you business and remind them what kind of business you want.
I was going to say, and then what kind of business, what you do. So, lawyers, you could do a lot of stuff. Practice. You might have a niche that your referral partners don't even know. You might have added a practice area that they don't even know you did.
Yeah.
Now we do immigration. You didn't know we do immigration? Of course they don't know.
Right.
What are we doing to get back in front of people and say, hey, by the way, I actually have a big referral partner, referral source. That was like, text me the other day. Hey, Kevin, we're looking for someone that can do PR. We have a lot of law firms looking for it. Do you know anyone that does that? I wrote back, we do. But we added that service about a year ago.
Yeah.
Why would they know that?
Yeah.
Right. And so then they're like, oh, well, crap. Well, can you send me a bunch of information? They'll probably turn into a bunch of new clients.
Yeah.
But to think that they are keeping track of what I do and what everybody else does is crazy.
Well, and the other part of that is if you think about it from like the law firm perspective, I know a lot of lawyers who will change their case acceptance criteria throughout the year. So they'll be looking at their cases and saying, man, we can't afford to take any more slip and falls. We just cannot do it. We got to go to federal court when we do it. It's too much travel. It's not worth it. Let's stop accepting slip and falls. They don't make an edit to their website, so they still get the phone calls. I know. But they also don't tell anyone of that decision. Usually it's just the law firm owners and marketing and intake knowing that, but no one else in the firm. And so when you make decisions like that, but you don't share the decision first with your law firm, second with whoever's helping you with your website and your socials.
Should be me.
And also with all of your partners, then of course you're still going to get referred to cases you're not going to accept. And what I see happening after that is when you don't tell your referral partners if your case acceptance criteria has changed, unless you're monitoring how many case referrals they send you and how many you reject, you may not realize your team is rejecting a whole bunch of referrals and they are hurting that relationship because you didn't take the time to tell them, by the way, Kevin, I'm rejecting these because we decided as a business we're no longer going to handle these types of cases.
Sure. Yeah.
And so if you're not looking out for that, you could unknowingly be hurting a referral partner because you're just not looking
Next
for
time
it.
they get a big car accident case, they're like, well, the last time they didn't take any of our referrals.
Well, and no one likes to feel rejected, right? No one enjoys being rejected. So the other part of that is if you keep hearing no, well, you don't want to ask, you don't want to refer. That's just what happens.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. You're like, I'll just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
All the time I see talking to law firms that we don't even work with yet. Like, yeah, we're not happy with this and that. And we're getting all these, like, say, slip and fall. Getting all these slip and falls. And we just don't want those. Like, okay, well, did you see that you have a ton of content on your website? Did you know that there's currently ads running? And they're like, what? And they're just so confused. And I'm like, yeah, you're spending dollars right now to drive this. And you have to tell your marketing agency. You have to let everyone know what's going on. And I just see it all the time. Oh, we don't even do this, but we keep getting cases for it. Well, there's content for it. You're going to continue to get it.
Yeah. Well, and the other part is how often do you Google yourself? So I'll tell my clients, okay, once a quarter, you need to Google yourself and just see what comes up. I did it with a client earlier this year and we Googled his name and he does personal injury. But when he first started out, he was a part of a criminal defense association. And when we Googled his name, his old criminal defense association profile came up and I was like, oh my God, we got to get that down. And so live on the call, we emailed the criminal defense association, hey, can you take this down? Because then it made sense. Oh, you're getting phone calls about criminal defense cases because this is still popping up. Let's take it down. And so
that's
it
what
happens all the time.
That's what Google and AI, if they know you as criminal defense, then that's it's just going to come up. I see this all the time too. Law firms will be like, hey, we used to be an employment law firm, but now we're a PI law firm. And it's like, okay, we need to go look around because they spent 5-10 years employment law, and now we're just PI overnight. Well, you're not going to just overnight get those cases.
Yeah.
And you're trying to retrain all these platforms your new identity, and it takes a lot of work. And sometimes it's going to be impossible to just remove in your reviews the best employment lawyer ever. Like, okay, well, that you're stuck with all that for a long time. So before you make a decision to just switch, kind of look at really what that looks like and have a plan, because you'll be haunted by those leads for a long time.
Okay, you gave me an idea. If someone told me that, I would say, don't switch. Leave it up. Don't actively put the ads, but please have a partner to refer those cases to.
Yeah, immediately set up referral partners and go, hey, we're moving out of this completely.
Yes.
We're going to continue to get cases, and we need some great people to refer them to.
100%. Yeah.
Then you get 30% or whatever your fee is.
Yes, we call that mailbox money.
Mailbox
money.
You
get mailbox money.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So reach out to Delisi. If you don't have a good referral system, this is like a system. That's the thing. Like, it's not, just building referrals, but tracking them, knowing who they are, knowing which ones bring in the best. Tim Summeroff does a great job
Yes.
at doing referrals.
Yes.
They have quarterly and monthly like gifts and programs, and like just it's awesome.
Yeah.
So much more you can do with it, and generate a lot more business just with the referrals. So, and not just law firms, anyone listening.
Anyone can do it. Referrals helps every industry.
Yep.
I just happen to love lawyers.
Well, you've been in the space a long time. So.
Yes.
Delisi, anything else you want to share? How can they find you?
You can find me on www.firstcallfriday.com. I'm also very active on LinkedIn. So connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, firstcallfriday.com. And if you're watching this and you are at the PILMMA Summit, do not leave here without putting in your calendar a day and a time where you are going to follow up with all of the connections you make while you are here. Because one of the biggest mistakes that I see lawyers make is they will go to an event like this, make some really great connections, and then they forget to follow up. And if you forget to follow up, then you're letting that relationship die even before it has a chance to really bear fruit or turn into something amazing. So please, if you're here, get your phone out, get your calendar out, block some time when you get back home to follow up with all the people you met while you were here.
Yeah. And then, this takes a lot of time, energy, money. You can waste it just by not following up with people. And this could be vendors, other lawyers. It doesn't matter what it is. And if you don't follow back up, take the time to reach back out, then getting a lot of wasted time and money.
It's not worth it. Well, and in marketing, we say like that's a total waste of your ROI. Like you're not going to get any return on investment if you went and you didn't follow up with anyone. So please follow up. These in-person connections are so important and so valuable.
Love it. Well, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Everyone, you'll be seeing me again. We'll be live with other guests soon. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon at the PILMMA Summit.